First up, we have ADK. What is this? Like a company that made like Neo Geo games or something? I don't know who this is. Is this like the Z-Blade company or something? No, that's NMK that made Z-Blade. I'm just gonna drag him in. It's fine. We're good. Okay, so 80K. This is gonna be for retired fighting game players and granddads, because I have no fucking clue. Thanks for starting with a company that never even heard of. Alpha System. So we're going in alphabetical order here. Alpha System-betical order. Alright, Alpha System that is very hardcore, and probably leaning a little dad, maybe? They're like right next to G-Rev, honestly, because if you're playing like Under Defeat and Border Down, you're also playing Shikigami. So I guess I should like say some of the games that are made by the companies so that it's clear. So G-Rev, which we started with, they made... G-Rev is not technically responsible for G-Darius, but everyone considers G-Darius a G-Rev game because G-Rev was started by the devs who made G-Darius. So, G-Darius, Under Defeat, like they did a bunch of Dreamcast era games. Under Defeat, Border Down, Strania, and Momo something. I don't know what the other one is called. But anyway, G-Rev is great. I would have put them more on the granddad side, but anyway. That's our calibration. So, Alpha System made the Castle Shikigami games. So they're right next to G-Rev. Basically the exact same thing. Alright, next up we have Athena. I don't know what they made, so they're going in Granddad and retired fighting game players. I have no idea who that is. You know what? 80K, they sound like dad, to be honest. What the fuck is this? Finish. Unselect. Unselect it. How do I fucking unselect this shit? Athena made Dio. Oh, okay. Alright. Here we go. 80K, they're going into dad, retired fighting game players, and Athena would definitely be in Granddad if they made Dio. It's definitely Granddad gaming for you. $80K is Twinkle Star Sprite's good. It's in the right place then. Actually, I don't know Sky Soldiers. I know Star Soldier. I guess they'd be a little closer to the Axis then. But definitely only a retired fighting game player would play that. Next up, we have Bon Presto. Bon Presto didn't develop any shmups. What are you, fucking stupid? The games that are published by Bon Presto were made by Gazelle. What is this? What did Bon Presto develop? Bath. Why is this on the chart? Why am I doing this? Oh, they made Mazinger Z. Okay. Mazinger Z, that would be right there, probably with Twinkle Star Sprites. That's a little... Let's see. a little, let's see. No, that's more hard. That's like right on the hardcore gamer side. I think he was trying to say Gazelle, though. He probably just is, because he's kind of ignorant about shooting games, probably doesn't realize that Bon Presto is not the developer of Air Gallet. Capcom. Alright, Capcom is like the definition of granddad gaming. And you would think retired fighting game players, right? For Capcom, you would say like, Capcom, they made fighting games. That's the Street Fighter. That's Ryu and Chun-Li. With Capcom and Darkstalkers too. Oh, and Marvel Vs. They made all those games. Wrong. Capcom is probably the most hardcore gamer company of all time. The thing is that fighting game players play Capcom fighting games. A player of a Capcom fighting game would never play a Capcom shoot 'em up. They would never play Magic Sword. They would never play Ghosts and Goblins, Makai Mora. Capcom is a divided company, and we're not ranking them by their fighting games. So Capcom they're hardcore gamers, and actually they should be all the way in the corner because they're very granddad. But Capcom is one of the greatest gaming companies of all time, really, because they did it all. But if you retired from playing Street Fighter, you're not going to jump to another Capcom game, right? We'll find out later in the chart making what game you would jump to. Alright, Cave. I'm actually going to save Cave for later. They're difficult to rank because they're so popular. Data East. Retired fighting game players, granddads. Okay, actually, because of the placement of Data East, I've realized that Athena is too far on the granddad axis. Get back down here, Athena. You're closer to dads than that. So Data East is another just kind of definitive granddad company. And yeah, you would only play those if you're a retired fighting game player. And like you because the thing about retired fighting game players, right? This is the kind of person that is like, oh, I downloaded Fightcade, I gotta play something. I guess I'm gonna go through the list in alphabetical order and play whatever crap is there. So actually, that reminds me that, or it leads me to just jump to Jalico here, because Jalico is right there with them. If you're playing Data East games, you're playing Jalico games. You really, you're not even really playing shoot 'em ups. You are just literally existing in a state of being retired from fighting games. IGS. No clue. Who is IGS? Mariscan, you got this one? Do you know who IGS is? It's a mystery to me. B-Storm. Why do they need to be on this? Why do we need them? I don't know. No one plays B-Storm. IGS is... I'm not putting them on the chart. That's so pointless. No, Grizel's not on the list. Because Bath has no idea who actually makes shooting games. Oriental Legends. Nice game name, but I don't know it. Alright, next up we got one of the big boys. IREM. IREM is like a mini Capcom because they made a ton of games for a really long period, really consistently high quality games, high quality art. The game's not as fun as Capcom, but they did tend to be experimental. They kind of were trendsetters, and also just hit all the genres at some point or another. And they had their running guns, they had their hammer and harries, they had their beat 'em ups. A lot of times I think I like IREM's non-shoot 'em ups better than I like their shoot 'em ups. It's kind of like another company that we'll come to. So, obviously, they're in the Granddad axis. And they're pretty hardcore. Like, your retired fighting game players are, like, disgusted by the sight of R-Type. You gotta be pretty hardcore to be out there playing undercover cops. But they're popular enough that the RFGs are probably gonna come across it at some point. So it's not as hardcore as Capcom. Alright, Jalico, we did them already. Kaneko. This is a very random one, because they just did a bunch of fairly random stuff. They made... What's the dragon game called? I can't remember off the top of my head. Syvern. Yeah, Bath probably thinks of them as the Syvern company, whereas the rest of the world thinks of them as the Superstar Soldier company. Because no one knows what Syvern is, except for Mariscan. I am trying to get another slice of pizza here. This pizza, by the way, is very good. This is living up to the Tutto Fresco name, for sure. Gal Panic, no clue. I have no idea what that is. They're the Superstar Soldier company, and we'll be ranking them based on Superstar Soldier. Superstar Soldier, the Star Soldier, I guess they're going to be our only representative of the Star Soldier series. Because I didn't see Hudson. Like, we're already past H, and I didn't see Hudson. But let's see. Superstar Soldier is... that's probably, just continuing with the tic-tac-toe. Is definitely... it's probably not. It's more Granddad. It's more Granddad than IREM, to be honest. More Granddad than IREM, and not as hardcore. Because those are... Like, Superstar Soldier is kind of a mainstream game. Like, a retro gamer would play that, but again, the RFGs are not going to be hitting that much. Alright, Konami, another one of the defining arcade companies, one of the majors, if you will. Konami is pretty much everything. I would put them, like, here, I think. They really covered the gamut. Again, partially because, like Capcom, they were around for a long time. Let's see, maybe we can set the alpha level on this, so it's a little bit less intrusive. Alright. So Konami did it all. Sorry. I know we're getting real ASMR on the mic, but I can't be fucked to mute it after every bite. Like, the other thing about Konami is, like, if you don't like them, just get out. I don't think there's really any excuse for someone. And to be honest, I don't know that I've heard anyone ever say, like, I don't like Konami. That's a bad company. Like, it's just one of the most universally popular arcade developers and console developers of all time. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, not only did they do a great streak of arcade games, but a great streak of home console games as well. Returning to the Oreos Coke, it's just like, it's 95% Coke. I don't have much to say about it. Namco. Alright, here's another piece of shit. Oops. Namco. Now, this is probably the least popular of the major arcade devs. They're like the anti-Konami. Everyone likes Konami. Pretty much no one likes Namco, but they were huge in their day. And yeah, I know, but you have contrarian tastes, so like, good for you. Like, how does that disprove what I just said? No one likes them. I would say that they probably lean a little retired fighting game player, because they are more like a Data East type company, where the only way that you're going to be playing one of these games is if you're just going down that main list, or you're wandering around the arcade and are like, oh look, it's Dragon Spirit. That's in every fucking arcade that I've ever been in. You know, I have a lot of respect for Namco. I like Pac-Man. I like Galaxian and Galaga, but like their later shoot 'em ups, I don't know. I don't play them really. That's all I can say. So yeah, Big Granddad. Nichibutsu is another company that no one likes. Felius is actually Life Finds Way's favorite shoot 'em up. He's never played it, but he is certain it's one of the greatest. Nichibutsu, I don't know. I really don't have much to say about them because no one plays these games. Like, what is Trap like Nichibutsu? I only remember that because I think I remember him being the only one that ever had anything positive to say about them. Maybe Prickly plays them. Seems like a Prickly kind of company. Definitely high on the Granddad axis. Not as high as Capcom though, or Namco. And yeah, they'll be on the hardcore gamer side, but yeah, I don't really know what to do with them because no one really plays that. NMK. NMK is like the definition of a retired fighting game player, because these games are very easy to understand. They're very surface level games. They're fun. They're not that Granddad. I would say that they're more in the dad category, actually. We haven't been hitting dad a lot, and the surprising thing is that's because shooting games haven't been popular since the 1990s. And all of these are companies that are from the Granddad era. So, yeah. NMK, I would say they're not too hard on the RFG side, though. It's just lightly. Like, they are almost, you know, there's no reason we can't put something in the middle, as a matter of fact. You can be on both sides of the axis. And I would say NMK is, like I said, very digestible games, appealing games. But, like, if you're really going to get a lot out of them, you do have to spend a lot of time with them and be kind of mind-numbing. Psycho! This is another company that these days everyone hates. I think that's kind of stupid. I think Psycho is one of those companies that gets way more hate than it deserves. Psycho... Baff wanted us to do an alignment chart of shooting game devs, and he doesn't know anything about shooting games, so he didn't even have Gazelle. He put Bam Presto instead of Gazelle, and then he got mad because I said no one liked Namco games. Okay, Psycho. Your original list was trash. His original list was just a bunch of meme crap. Well, this is an alignment chart, Wabby. It's not a tier list, so whether they're trash or not doesn't really matter. I mean, we will be pointing it out. Rap, you were the one that wanted me to do it on the stream. Yeah, I appreciate you pointing it out. Alright. Psycho, this is one of the more dad companies that we've hit so far. We're just listening to the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack. Yeah, they're definitely more of a dad company than a granddad company. The granddads get pretty scared by Psycho. But they're definitely on the retired fighting gamer side too. It's a very casual company. It's a very, like, play 2 credits and then move on. Like, the players who clear Psycho games tend to be very dedicated, hardcore Psycho players. So there is, like a little bit of hardcore there, so I guess it shouldn't be all the way over. But I do think you more see the passerbys hitting these games. Now, I think it's personally my opinion that Psycho is developed for casuals. I don't think those games are really made to be cleared. Alright. Up next is Rising. We're going to skip them. We're going to leave, like, the huge ones till the end. Sega made Fantasy Zone and Space Harrier, which makes them one of the greatest companies of all time, right off the bat. But anyway, definitely Granddad. They're not as Granddad as Capcom. They are closer to IRM. I would say, though, that let's see, who is playing? Now, these are for hardcore gamers only, definitely. You're not going to see a retired fighting gamer playing Fantasy Zone. They would... If we asked them about Sega, or about Space Harrier, they would say Star Fox is better. No, we're going to do Rising. Rising and Cave are going to be at the end, and I think Treasure will be at the end, too. Because those are complicated and difficult to place. Saibu Kaihatsu. Yeah, Scramble Spirits is, like, not a very identifying game for Sega, though. Like, when you think of Sega, you think Afterburner, Space Harrier, Fantasy Zone. Like, yeah, Scramble Spirits is there, too, but, like, I would not place them based on Scramble Spirits. That's a very D-tier game for them. The southeastern region is your sweet spot. Alpha System and G-Rev. Oh no, that's Southwestern, sorry. NMK and Psycho. That's what you're into. And 80K, which has been placed based on Faith alone. Alright, Saibu Kaihatsu, definitely, they're for hardcore gamers, but they're not too hardcore. You know, because everyone is going to play Raiden 1 and 2 and DX and Raiden Fighters 2 and Raiden Fighters Aces. Yeah, honestly, I'm starting to think Marisket might be a retired fighting game player. I didn't know that about him, but could be. Okay, yeah, so Saibu Kaihatsu, they're pretty close to the center. They are pretty universal in terms of appeal. Like everyone, like I said, everyone's gonna play Raiden at some point. It's kind of fun. I do think it's more for hardcore players, because you have to set up 30 hertz, and right off the bat, that's gonna knock a lot of people out. And they're Granddad, but they're like just starting to come into Dad. Like they're just moving over. Yeah, Bath put them there just because he wants to talk about how much he likes them. but this is an alignment chart, which you made, by the way. It's not a tier list. SNK. What games did SNK actually make with shoot 'em ups? I don't think Ironclad is actually SNK. Blazing Star? Is that SNK? Sky Soldier? I don't know what Sky Soldier is. I keep thinking KOF Sky Stage. Yeah, Blazing Star is the same company that made Polestar, right? Hey, Fractal. Here's a retired fighting game player for you. Okay, I looked up Blazing Star, and apparently it's the name of a flower, so we need game. We need game added to that. Yeah, because I feel like this is a company that did a lot of the stuff that was on... This is why I'm looking them up, because I think that they did a lot of the stuff that was on Neo Geo. Or at least a lot of the stuff that has been ported from Neo Geo. You make Kobo. They did... Viewpoints? Oh, they were originally called ICOM. But yeah, they did Prehistoric Isle 2. I'm not sure if they did. Wikipedia is always pretty untrustworthy with this, but they, I guess, did the Prehistoric Isles, Polestar, Blazing Star. Yeah, it's semi-retired. I was watching you play some Marvel vs. Capcom and having a good time yesterday. Good to see a win. I don't know. Wikipedia is not helping me out, and I'm not looking through a list of every single SNK game to try and figure out what shoot 'em ups they made. Bap, you put them on the list. Can you say what shoot 'em ups they made? Nah, last resort is IRAM. Slug 3 is not a shooting game. And if you're giving SNK credit for Slug 3, then SNK gets credit for all the Metal Slug games. I'm not ranking the Metal Slug series here. That doesn't make sense. Alright. SNK is off the list. BAF doesn't even know what shooting games they made. Oh, Alpha Mission? That's 80K? Okay. That is what I was thinking of when I said, I thought 80K made Z-Blade. I was trying to think of Alpha Mission. Next up, Success. This is hardcore as hardcore companies get. Yeah, they only made, let's rank them based on King of Fighters Sky Stage. Speaking of which, where's Moss? Alright, we have to add it some, because BAF, like, totally, he's adding companies that didn't make shooting games, but then forgets, like, Moss, who made half of the Raiden series, and some of the most popular current shoot 'em ups. We are doing an alignment chart of shooting games. The axes, which are kind of hard to read now. North is granddads, south is dads, west is hardcore gamers, and east is retired fighting gamers. Alright. What do you mean success is in hardcore? Where's your Sanvane 1cc, bro? I didn't see you playing Cyvaria. Alright, nice. 1cc in Kingdom Grand Prix. Tell us about it. What was the route? What was the character? Yeah, they're games that hardcore gamers buy and chill out to. I agree. Alright, success is pretty dad. I would say that they are dadder than G-Rev. Cotton? Yeah, I mean Cotton is, but I'm thinking of like... Oh yeah, he didn't do Compile. That was one of the other ones I said. He didn't do G-Rev either, by the way. I had to tell him, add G-Rev. And I said, where's G-Rev? Where's Compile? Like, two of the most well-known shooting game developers, and yet we have 80K, Bon Presto, SNK on here. Like, what the hell did any of them make? Can we get an explanation of where Bon Presto is? Yeah, I already pointed out there's no Hudson. Yep. It's missing. We will add stuff at the end once we get through this list. We're close to the end of the alphabet. Bath, what did Bon Presto make? How many times do I have to ask? Oh, actually, there's a million T's, so we're not that close to the end. Alright, that's where success is going. Sailor Moon, no they didn't. That's Gazelle. I told you, he thinks that Bon Presto made Gazelle's games. Hey look, Fractal knows Mossinger, see? That's why they're on the retired fighting gamers side. Alright. Taito is... their granddad. Again, it's not quite as granddad as Capcom, because they were around forever. They definitely lean more towards the retired fighting gamer. The thing is, like, Taito... So... this is going to be the problem with Cave and Rising as well. So Taito is the first of these companies that really made like 1 million games. Like they made so many shoot 'em ups from over such a long stretch of time that it is hard to place them. Like that's why Konami got the stretched out treatment. And like Taito is kind of the same thing. Like they've got some dad stuff like Metal Black, but they've also got some granddad stuff like Space Invaders and Gun Frontier. And like for retired fighting gamers, they've got Gun Frontier. For hardcore gamers, they've got Darius 2. So I think I'll put them about here. What happened to... I don't even think I need to reduce the alpha level. You can't even really... Actually, you really can't see it anymore. Let me see if I can make this Taito more legible. Because it's the same, it's basically the same color as Konami. Crazy coincidence. Alright, there we go. Macross. Yeah, I don't know anything about Macross games. Alright, Takumi. Takumi is very dad and very retired fighting game player. I think that I have no problem putting them all the way in the bottom right. No hardcore shmup players playing Takumi games. Oh look, there's a reflector button, so you don't have to dodge anything. Great. That's great, because I play fighting games and I have no idea how to dodge things. Thank you, Takumi. Yeah, no, I mean, I hate to say it, but like there is a little bit of like there are a few people that are factoring heavily into these ratings, and Malone is as retired. He's like the dad retired fighting game player. Like him, this is his corner of the world, basically. All right, Technosoft. Fractal, you're pushing more into the dad category. Yeah, but not in terms of this chart. This chart is dad versus granddad. You're pushing into like the very bottom of the chart at this point. Technosoft. These are pretty casual games. They're definitely dad, because these are console games, which are a dad thing. Only granddads play arcade games. I guess that is kind of what I mean by the dad-granddad axis, is that like it's kind of like the MAME versus port axis. Technosoft, yeah, I'm good with them right here where I dropped them. Because they pretty much are just getting ranked based on the Thunder Force series, and really only just the later Thunder Force games. This pizza is messy as hell. I'm still hungry. It's just I have to talk so much so I can't eat. Thunder Force 6. I've never played it. Never even tried it. Did you have that on PlayStation 2? Probably not, I'm guessing. Sometimes when you say that like the only shooting games from the early 2000s from the perspective of a normal gamer were Ikaruga and Gradius 5, sometimes someone will say, aha, but what about Thunder Force 6? Yeah, good luck finding a fucking copy of Thunder Force 6 in 2004. Exactly, it was Japan only. I've never played 5 or 6. I think 3 is amazing. It's really fun and AC. But the soundtrack does add a lot to it. Without the soundtrack, it would not be as good. 4 is okay, but it's a pretty weird game. Elemental Master is good. Yeah, no one talks about Thunder Force 6. I can see why you wouldn't know. Oh, by the way, Fractal, we're doing the Oreos Coke. I don't know if you saw this either, Wabby. I think that Life Finds a way overstated the chocolate flavor of it. To me, it tastes mostly like Coke, with like a hint of chocolate and a hint of caramel, which I guess is supposed to approximate, like maybe that's where they're going for the cream flavor. I'm getting kind of like a little bit of caramel. Well, let me remind you, Life Finds a Way. So this is something that we haven't discussed that does not apply to Coke Oreos, but does apply to all the other beverages that we have around here. Well, I don't know about all of them, but certainly Coke. Coke is bottled locally. So, like in the state, when I'm getting cans of Coke in Maryland, Like, those cans of Coke are being made in Maryland. So there are potentially differences between them. Now, maybe the Texas heat bakes all the moisture out of the Oreo flavoring, and that's why it tastes like sludge or something to you. I don't know. But like, bottling of soda is local. They don't ship it across the country. Now with energy drinks, I don't know. I would assume the rule is the same, but those are probably produced in somewhat smaller quantities, so they would probably have less. I don't know, but most of them are made by major soda companies, so I don't know. Haven't done the research, but you never know. I would say this is good. I like this better than Coke Zero, but I've also said like I don't really like Coke. Like, I think Coke is kind of crappy. I never would buy I would never buy a Coke Zero. Like, what's the point? Oh, hey Wes, welcome in. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in, D King. Did you come in with West 112? How's everyone's progress going on the no miss of Mushi? By the way, it says it is fizzy cookie flavored. It's going to be difficult to get that in focus, but it doesn't say it's Oreo flavored. It says it's fizzy cookie flavored, which is odd because the Oreo is not a fizzy cookie. And fizzy is not traditionally considered a flavor. Anyway, yeah, it's Coke with a light chocolate, a little bit of caramel. I mean, definitely better than regular Coke Zero. Don't like soda in general. I don't really drink soda. The bounty is still alive and well. Yep, no one has claimed it yet, but Mariscan has entered the fray. He's threatened to complete it in less than a week. You guys should have let me eat my pizza first. So right now, we're doing a shooting game alignment chart of some of the major shooting game developers. We're missing a lot of the major ones, but we've got some and we've got a lot of minor ones for some reason. Played Mushi a few days ago, didn't give it a shot. Well, at least you had a fun game to play. So on the northern axis, we have Granddad games. On the southern axis, we have Dad games. On the western axis, we have games for hardcore gamers. And on the eastern axis, we have games for retired fighting game players. So moving on. Tecmo. Tecmo made one shooting game, Star Force. Why are they here? Alright. Tecmo, based on Star Force. Wait, someone come in and say, no, they made Final Star Force too. Based on Star Force, anyway, they're going in the Granddad hardcore gamer section. They are very Granddad, as Granddad as Namco. But yeah, definitely more hardcore than Namco. Next up, we have Toaplan and Treasure. We're going to skip them for 1 second. After that, we have Triangle Service. No one plays these games. Delta Zeal, Tri-Zeal, 13 Zeal. Fractal said he likes them or something, so that's going to put them in the retired fighting game category. I hate to judge it by only Fractal, but Yeah, we had a brief conversation about Triangle Service games in the last stream, and I said I don't like their look, I don't like their music, and I've never played them. They look so budget. They look like the budgetest budget games ever. What platform are those games even for? Yeah, they are kind of like Data East and Jalico. Like those are kind of my measuring stick for budget companies. PS2 and Dreamcast originally. Okay. All right, so they are gonna hang out in retired fighting game and dad games. Next up, we have video system. Pearl told me one of the original arcade boards was designed so badly it would warp from the heat of running it. I guess that must be why no one plays it. They're all destroyed. Video system. For those that don't know, this is a company that preceded Psycho. They made the Sonic Wings or Aero Fighters series. That weird rabbit punching game. What is that called? Leper something. What else did they make? Really, Sonic Wings, that is what you think of when you see video system. Now, Baffleck's Rabby Ribby or whatever. Oh, Turbo Force, yeah. SNK made Captain Dominic. Great. We finally got back with the one shoot 'em up that SNK made. Great. Now can not Vib Ribbon, no. Leper. I don't know. I feel like it's called Rabid Lupus or something. That was close. It almost is called Rabid Lupus. Rabiolepus. Check out that game sometime. That's kind of a wacky one. Oh, really? Video System made Sonic Wings? Holy shit. I had no idea. That's crazy. They were the people that made Sonic Wings? Are you sure? I thought that was made by Psycho. Alright. Anyway. They're more, basically just more dad and more hardcore version of Psycho. If I know, I said all that like 10 minutes ago. Oops. Visco. What did they make? That free game? The one that costs $1? What is that called? There was some collection. It had 2 games. It was on Switch. There was some collection that had 2 games that were vertically scrolling, like samurai games, sort of like Sengoku Ace. That like no one has ever heard of. Yeah, Visara. That's it. Thank you. Is that what Visco made? Visara? Other than that, I don't know. Look at that. They made Captain Tomade too. The original Androdunos. Nice autocorrect there. Androdunos and Storeblade. Okay, so it's not Visara then? I don't know. I have no opinion of this company. It sounds like a granddad company. Oh, they did make Visara. Okay. I did mention it. I just thought I was wrong. It didn't seem like the company that made Androdunos would also have made Visara. Anyway, I bought that collection of 2 games for 99 cents, and then I never played them. I don't know. I don't care. I care so little about this company that they're staying wherever I just left them. All right. There's all the miners. One second. We're going to add the companies that are missing, then we'll do the majors. I really would like to eat this last slice of pizza, but it's just taking too long. We will have to eat it later. Let me clean my hands so I can type. Oh, what happened to the music? I think YouTube did that awesome thing where you've been watching video for like an hour. Are you sure you want to keep watching? I understand why that's there, to stop people from just idle screaming and wasting a ton of bandwidth, but like it needs to be set a lot differently. Alright. UPL, that's another one that's missing. We're not going to add that because I don't care, but good point. Like UPL, were I to add it, I would just put it exactly on top of Nishibutsu. I cannot be fucked to download logos for this stuff. I never would have done this if I'd had to download all this stuff myself. This is all done at Bath's insistence. He's 100% responsible for this tier list and 100% endorses all the results. Sorry, not tier list, alignment chart. Alright, so compile. That was missing for some reason. That is definitely for retired fighting game players. They love compile. And it is probably just barely on the granddad. I don't know. It's right around the dad-granddad axis. Fractal sign in. I think it's a little bit on the dad side. Just because they're easy. Like, you really don't have to spend a lot of time playing compile games. Alright. I like compile too. Moss. Moss is very dad, and they are retired fighting game status, but not quite as much. They're not as much as compile. So Moss is Raiden 4, Raiden 5, Caladrius Blaze, Raiden 3, King of Fighters Sky Stage. No one remembers that game existed. And they made some like Dragon Lady Tits game fairly recently. I didn't look at it. I like Raiden 4 a lot. I think Raiden 5 is okay. Caladrius Blaze is great. Puyo Pop. Yeah. That was made by Compile, right? Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. You're not supposed to know the name of it, Fractal. The hell is that? I might actually have to wash my hands in a minute. I still feel greasy. Pizza was really good. If anyone lives in Harford County, Maryland, who's watching the stream right now, check out Tudor Fresco. I think Harford County has a population of like 40,000 people. Okay. What else were we missing? I know we pointed out a couple more. Let me see. Someone... Weren't we missing something in like the R's or S's? Sorcerer Striker, that's a route? Okay. What else were we missing? Come on, guys, help me out here. Oh, Hudson, that was another one that we were missing. Excuse me. Hudson is like Compile, barely on the dad side, and they're really not that hardcore. They're more like in between here. But I can't find a way to place them. Now, Rising is they are here, they're just being held. There was one other company, I know that we named at least 4 that were forgotten, but whatever, this is good enough. Alright, so now the big companies. Now we have Cave, Rising, Toaplan, and Treasure. Treasure is the easiest of those. Treasure is only for... See, the thing is that, like, this is another company that kind of separates, like, they are both in this corner and in this corner. Because the retired fighting game players are all out there playing Ikaruga, but the hardcore gamers are all out there playing Sin and Punishment and Radiant Silvergun. So they kind of span that axis. They're definitely dad. So yeah, I think Treasure will go there. Definitely a lot more dad than granddad. Toaplan. Definitely for hardcore gamers. And they are, I think they're like right here actually. Definitely for hardcore gamers, your whammy legs, if you will, and definitely for granddads, but they're not as granddad as like IREM. They're okay. Everyone has their favorite. Okay, Rising. Rising is difficult to place. I feel like they are on the granddad side. Like, not seeing a lot of like people having fun playing Rising games, which is kind of what puts them in the granddad category. And like, if I think of Japanese players, like, Japanese players love Rising, so that makes me want to put it over here with the hardcore gamers. But then if I think of the American players that are playing Rising games, it would definitely go here. I think I'm gonna have to, I mean, no one here is Japanese, so we're gonna have to go with the American side of things. And I do think that is a retired fighting game player, because it's like, you know, if you're someone that likes learning your combos and your matchups and your whatever they call things in fighting games. What's a cross up? What's a Roman cancel? What's a Greek cancel? Like, how do I do a quarter circle forward? What's number pad notation? That's all pretty similar to what you're going to go through playing a Rising game. Like, basically 99% of the experience is not playing the game. So, yeah. I think regardless of who plays it, I think philosophically it is for retired fighting gamers. I'm just trying not to say like, oh, well, everything that Fractal and Malone likes goes over here, but I'm trying to think about it a little harder than that. Alright. Last up, we have Cave, the greatest of all time, the only shooting game company that needs to exist. Cave, and again, like a hard one to place because everyone plays Cave games. They're easily the most popular company because they're the best. And so, you know, there's granddads playing them, like more salties out here playing Dangoon Feveron. That's for the granddads. Like Galuda with all that stupid bullshit is for the retired fighting gamers. Guange with its crazy mechanics is for the hardcore gamers. The technical players. It's just, they are hard to place. Like Mushi is for your dad gamers. Death Smiles is for your dad gamers. Probably just gonna place them because they're like the opposite of Rising, basically. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Fractal. They're kind of like the opposite of Rising, so I want to put them in the opposite corner. But they're not that dad, though. Like Rising, I think they kind of need to go near the middle axis. But they are more, again, like they're the opposite of Rising, so they are more on the dad side than on the granddad side. Like, you will have to actually like playing games to play cave games. They're not for people that just are expressing their hatred of their lives through playing shooting games. Yeah, I don't know. It might move over maybe here. It's just hard. They are the hardest to place because, again, just because they are the most popular. Like, I mean, Konami got the treatment that I don't think like Cave is as universal as Konami though. So if I think about it compared to them, that's what makes me want to put it on the dad side, because the granddads are not gonna like the Cave games as much. I think that's where I would put it. I think the fact that they have so many games also skews it more onto the hardcore side, whereas like Rising, it's like, what are you really gonna play? Daimahus and Bat Rider and what's it called? Battle Garega. Whereas Cave, like, they have a million games, so if you want to spend a lot of money on games that have all had ports, then go ahead and spend it on Cave games. Alright, and there we have it. Bath completely checked out before we even finished this list that he demanded be made. Bat Rider, Kingdom Grand Prix. Oh, look, he's here. Are you happy with the result? I'm happy with it. I think we did a good job. Good. That means we did a good job. If you're not happy with it. So Kyogi Rentai. Yeah, I just don't really know much about that. You're close. You spelled it phonetically or correctly. Bath wanted us to be like, ho ho ho, and the Chads, and the Zoomers, ho ho ho, and the Soys. Ah, the Soys. The Soy Rega, and the Soy Rem, and the Soyga, and the Soyco, and the Soy Neko, and the Soy East, and the Soylaco, and the Soycom, and the Soy Plan, and the Soybu Kai Soysu, and the Soy MK, and the Soy Pile, and the Techno Soy, and the Soykyo, and the HUD Soy, and the Video Soystem, and the Soyv, and the G Soy, and the Alpha Soystem, and Soy Cess, and Soyger, Seizure, and Triangle Soysis, and Sauce, and Bon Presto, who doesn't belong here, and ADK, and Soy Kumi. It never stops being funny, right? The soy thing? It never does. It's always funny. Fractal wants to like Garega, but he doesn't. So anyway, yeah, this is what like a real shooting game player. I think if you put this challenge, this alignment chart challenge in front of any real shooting game player, the result would be exactly as I made it here. I think that this is pretty objectively true. Like, really, no one would find anything to argue with about this. And let's just go ahead and carve it into stone. We're done.